So I have a number of different things here. This is one that you can put in, but you know what, I'm going to stick with the wax ring. I bought this extra thick one. This is a regular reinforced one here. That's that size. And this is the extra thick. So this one's got a 5-year, this has got a 10-year warranty. I don't know why. And then I got all my parts here. And then what we've got to do, I've already cleaned this off, as you guys saw already. We'll just put that, I don't know where I'm going to put it. I'll put it right here for now. And we got to put our bolts in, and then we got to put our wax on top of that. And we're going to use this one right here. All right, so you can see the difference. This is the smaller one, and this is the big heavy-duty one. And the more wax you got, the better the seal is going to be. So we're going to go with this one. If we have to, we could also put this on top of it too. But I think we're going to be good with just the one. And we'll send that back to Walmart. All right, here we go. All right, so anyway, these are the bolts that come with, or the, I don't know, I guess you call them bolts, that come with the with these sets. But they're super long and you have to cut them. Now the ones that we had are still good. I mean, they still look brand new. You know, they're a little bit darker, but they'll work fine. And they're already cut off, so we're going to use those. And what you do is you got to take this and you're going to push it down on it, and then we're going to, I'll show you here in a second. So what you do is you're going to take this, and you're going to push it down on it like that, and that way you can stick it in, and it'll hold it, so that you can set the base of your toilet on it. So we've got 2 of those, and we got to do it to both of them. There we go. And I already checked to make sure that the bolts hook up onto these pegs. I guess we could call them pegs. So you just want to make sure that this will screw on there and that it doesn't get caught up anywhere. So I'm going to screw it down pretty far just to make sure. And that should be good. So we know that that bolt now, of course now it won't come off. That bolt is good and there's no burrs on there that are going to catch it, and we're going to have a problem with it. And so these fit good. So that's that one there. And we'll do the other one too. Grab it. Just to make sure so that you can, so once you get it on there and everything, you know, all of a sudden you can't tighten it down because you got a cross thread. You don't want that to happen. All right, so that looks good. So both of those are cool. All right, so we're going to take that off of there. All right, so we're going to put both of these back underneath there. We got 2 of them. If you notice, the heads on these screws are elongated like a triangle, so that you've got to put the wide side into that slot perpendicular to it so that it holds. And you notice on top, that little plastic washer, that kind of holds the screw up against the collar. That way you can bring in your wax ring, set it down, and then you can set your toilet right down on it. And that keeps them in place. You can see they're a little loose, but that's going to get tightened up when you put the bolts on it. And you see the little hole right there? That's where those bolts go. I mean those screws. All right, so here's our wax ring. And you can pull it off just like this. It kind of like folds off. Looks kind of like a cake. I got these gloves on, so it keeps me from getting wax all over my hands. And as you can see, it just sets like that. And so your wax ring goes right like that. And then you can smush it down a little bit, kind of push it in there, just like that. So this is where all the stuff from the toilet goes, right down that hole. And what's cool about this is this also kind of catches these 2 little things here. So this is super thick. And that should be more than enough. We'll get it on there good. And then smush it around like this. When I put the toilet on, it's going to crush it down. So that's pretty much it there. Just make it nice and smooth in here. You know, you don't really even need this part here, but I mean, it's good to have. So now we've got our wax ring on there. Looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and take off these gloves. And this is the way you take them off, so you don't get the stuff all over your fingers. All right, let's take a closer look. All right, so there's our ring. It's on there. Our bolts. And now all we got to do is pick up this toilet and set it right on top of that perfectly. So you can see right under here, it's pushed up and this holds it there. So when you tighten it, you're basically tightening it to this collar. Right, so, first of all, I don't want to slip and break my neck.
And kind of your foot is right into the top.
Right. I want to set it right there. Okay. All right, now I can pick it right up and stick it back on there. All right, so I've repositioned the toilet, and the key is to get my bolts through there, these bolts. So it's going to be a little tricky, so we got to kind of spot it. And that's going to help me. It's always good to clean it when you at the spots that you can't really get to before you put it in, like in the back. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lift her up, and we're going to stick her in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on both sides of the toilet. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to try to guide it into these two bolts right here.
Should we just do it like this on each side? So
Well, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. But the only thing is then they can't see.
Blow my nose.
They won't be able to see what's going on.
Okay.
So,
God forbid. Make it easier for yourself.
do you think you can lift it here?
I would imagine I could.
So here's the idea. You've got to guide it into.
Hold on.
Let me get a better
I
angle.
can lift it
then.
like this.
Let me get a better angle then if we're going to do it like that.
Because when I kneel down, I'm going
You're not going to have to kneel down.
to see. I know. We'll see. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So what you got to do is
I know.
we're going to lift it up,
I know.
and you got to
I know.
when you see your spot there, and I'm going to see my
I'm
spot.
heavy. Oh,
Here we
it's not
go.
that heavy. Okay.
Okay. Now, do you see your thing?
My glasses. I need my
Oh
glasses.
Jesus.
Sorry. What's the big deal? Okay, it's on.
You got your side
Yeah.
on?
Yeah. Wait. Oh, it's just heavy. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
You
That's
see
it.
the bolt?
It's right here.
Okay, I gotta push it. I gotta sit on the toilet now. So you have to get out of the way.
Do you
have-
center that more, or does it matter?
You have to move out of the way. Because I gotta put the pressure on it to get it to sit down on there.
Right.
All right, so anyway, I'm kind of squishing it down a little bit so those screws will come up through the holes at the base of the toilet. What we gotta, what I'm hoping is that this didn't come out of the slot underneath there. That's a possibility. So when I start to tighten it down, we'll find out. And because the toilet won't be stable if it did pull out, then we'll have to pull the toilet and redo it. Okay, so next I've got to put this little thing on. I'm going to put this washer on. I'm going to do that on both sides. One there and one there. Let's take a look at it. So that's it right there. And now I'm going to put a bolt on that. And I'm going to go from one side to the other and tighten it. I just want to make sure I got it nice in the center. All right, so we got rubber bolts. I'm going to put one on each side. Drop one on the floor there. And there we go. So far, so good. Okay, that one's on. Now we're going to come over here, put this one on. All right. You want to keep your washer in the center, and you want to try to keep this like centered too, because you got to put a cap on it afterwards. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start tightening that baby down, and that's going to pull the toilet down here. Because remember, we got the extra thick wax, so it's going to smush all that wax down in there and form a good seal, hopefully. So let's get our wrench. All right, so I'm going to go back and forth and tighten down each side until I get it all the way down where I want it. All right, so anyway, like I said, I'm going back and forth, and each time I'm making sure that that this is all squared away. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You want to keep the washer in the center and this in the center, so when you're tightening it down here, it doesn't go over the lip, because you got to put a cap on this. All right, so that's important. Looks like we're doing okay. So let's keep going at it, just so you can see from here. I'm going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do 5 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to come back over here. I'm just going to keep doing that. So you see it's pulling down now. If you look, you can see it's getting tighter and tighter. Up front it's already tight, but it's pulling down on that wax and compressing it against that collar, and so that we don't have a leakage. I hope. We'll find out. And I can only go so far with this. You can see I've already got almost there. So, let me come over here. Oh shoot, look, see? Screwed that up, huh? So hard to keep it right. So this is what I'm talking about. You can't have that happen. So now I gotta loosen this. All right, so I got this one with an extension. So that way we can get over the bolt. Or the screw, or whatever the hell you call it. Okay, now let's go to the other side. Same thing. And then back and forth. Just make sure that you don't get your... See, this is pulling down here nicely. Now before we hook everything else up, we'll test it with, of course, a bucket of water. So that's pretty tight there. So you can see I'm getting it's pulling it all the way down to the ground. That's what you want. So we can put a cock around it. You see, but before we cock it, we'll pour the water in just to make sure that this one here I gotta come down more. It seems. All right, so we're checking it out. Looks like it's kind of on the level. Not too bad. Not too bad. I think we're kind of close. We're off a little bit. I mean, I would have to come up on this side, but actually this side's already up down here a little bit higher. And this side's a little tighter. But the toilet itself, if I move, it's stable, feels stable. I mean, it feels pretty, like it's in there pretty good. So I think we're good. Now we're gonna try a flush test. All right, so we're gonna do the flush test. And I'm gonna need an assistant to grab that and just pour that right into the toilet. We may have to, it may fill the toilet up. We might have to use 2 buckets of it. And so this is the test if you got a leak. So you're gonna know if you got a leak. First it's gonna fill the toilet up. Now we gotta fill that bucket up again. Gotta fill it up again. And then we're gonna do like a fake flush. So we're filling that up. And then you're gonna pour it in fast, and that should flush. And we shouldn't see any water around the edges.
I thought it was a certain amount. I thought I had to fill it up a certain height.
Nope, just
Like
just pour it right in. Pour it right in.
We did 3 buckets.
There it goes.
Okay.
Apparently we did a good job. All right, we got the base of the toilet on. Now we got to put the water closet on, and then we'll be done. All right, so we got to put our caps on now to cover our little bolts down there, and they go right over like that, and you just kind of push them
I
down.
guess the bottom of our shoes are making this dirty.
Yep, we're just gonna have to clean it again, and that's all you do to get them on, just like that. This one doesn't want to go on so easily.
I wish they would stay on.
This one's kind of like sitting there.
Yeah, they because when I clean it, they just twirl around and they come off.
That one's on.